got a soundboard. This is for when Toby makes a take about anything. Because he's always a clown.
Clowning around.
Yeah.
Well, this is episode 9. And yeah, we're getting through it. One more. Episode 10, we're going to have a nice little theme song for y'all.
Gang.
But before we get into the NBA talk, last time at the end of the show, we made our Super Bowl score predictions. And I think Toby said he wrote them down.
I did.
So we gotta go over them.
I gotta find the.
Well,
What?
I got it.
What even
Alright.
was the score? What even was the score of it? I can't remember.
the Bucks won 31-9.
All right. So in last place, we got Justin Sadovi. You predicted a
You didn't even
score.
pick the Bucks. You picked the Chiefs. That's why.
You predicted a score of 28-24 Chiefs. Which, I mean, okay, whatever.
Wait, you picked the same score as me, but it's different teams?
No.
Well, then that was
No. Jorie.
I picked 28-24.
Oh, no. Yeah, I got it mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what Jorie picked. No, Jorie was right. Jorie was pretty close.
I was. I mean, I was close in terms of the Tampa Bay, but not Kansas City.
And then Justin. Yeah, Justin, you were pretty way off. You chose a score of Chiefs 36
36.
to Bucks 33.
It's close.
Well, I was the closest with their score.
Yeah.
Only 2 points off.
But here's the thing.
How are we doing this? Is it
I got to give myself props.
closest signed score or? How does this work?
Well, I just know I was the closest because
Of course you were.
I chose a score of 34-21 Bucks. And everyone was calling me crazy. Talking about Mahomes will make it a 2-score game.
I mean, if we're being honest, it probably should have been.
Yeah, the refs.
No,
That was a terrible performance by the referees that game.
You guys are salty.
I don't know how much Tom paid him, but
I'm not even salty because
he didn't pay him enough.
But I'm just saying it probably should have been.
I'm salty because I got to pay you clowns $50.
Should have listened to us.
Sure.
Like you had been all season long.
No.
Every single week, this guy would ask us, "Who are we picking?" And then we would do it. And then the one week he wants to go against us. See what happens?
Well, you did win the Super Bowl or the
The game was rigged. It's not my fault. The game was rigged.
I think the Bucks. I think.
Oh, I don't think the game's rigged.
You see those terrible calls all game long? Only benefiting the Bucks.
Yeah, I also saw a terrible O-line from the Chiefs.
Or just a
penetrated.
good defensive line from the Bucks, depending on how you look at it.
Whatever. That game was dumb.
Well,
Tom Brady's not my GOAT. He can't beat Eli.
Right.
Well, speaking of GOATs,
Kevin
let's
Durant.
get right into the NBA talk because we might have a GOAT on our hands. The way he's performing this season, at least.
All right, I need to light my incense for that one.
Oh my goodness. Well, so basically on this show today, we're gonna talk about who we think our MVPs are, our front runners, and then another little interesting debate we'll have later. But so I mean, we're about a third of the way through the regular season, which is kind of crazy to think about. But so far, who is the front runner to win the MVP award? There's a lot of candidates, but if you had to pick one, who would it be?
I want to hear what Toby has to say. I think this will be interesting.
So, though it's close within like 5 different players. At the moment, if the season were to end right now, I think the best choice would be Joel Embiid.
Respect.
I much respect to Jokic, much respect to LeBron, but when we talk about MVPs and like the criteria of what fits an MVP, like some people will say it's the best player on the best team, and that's Embiid in the East. He's the best player on the best team in the East at the moment. Other people will say, they can't just be good and just the best player on offense too. They have to be the best player at defense. And Joel Embiid, like unlike Steph Curry, Joel Embiid is a huge factor on defense. Probably the biggest factor they have on defense in Philly.
Cap.
No, he's totally right. He's totally
Cap.
right.
But go ahead.
Toby's really spitting facts right now. You were clowning him to start off this show with the stupid little drum, but Toby's really off to a hot start so far.
No, finish.
A couple stats I want to point out when we were talking about Philadelphia with Embiid. So far this season, they're 1-4 when he doesn't play. When he's on the court, they have a +11. When he's off the court, they have a -3. And he's the MVP. So that's all I got to say.
All right, well, I'll follow you up because I agree. I think it was also Embiid. My whole point was, unlike Jokic, who is the only other big man, I would say, in the MVP conversation, Embiid can play defense, unlike Jokic. So that gives him a bonus.
I mean, Jokic can play defense, but
not at a DPOY level like Embiid is. Embiid could run away with the two awards this year.
Nah.
You don't think so?
That's what I think is the differentiating factor.
His defense.
His defense just
Even though he's not the best defender on his team.
He really is, bro. You could throw me off but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Oh.
Who do you think, Jorie?
I mean, I agree. I think Embiid is definitely deserving. But if I had to give it to someone, it's LeBron James. Hands down, he's been the best player in the league this season. And you say, okay, is it the best player on the best team? The Lakers aren't technically the best player or the best team in the West. That's the Jazz based on their record. But, I mean, are you really going to pick the Jazz over the Lakers in a playoff series? Probably not. LeBron, he's averaging 25.6 points and then 8 rebounds and 8 assists a game. He's shooting basically 50% from the field and 40% from three, which is a career high. He's basically become an elite three-point shooter in his 18th season, his age 36 season. He's basically become that. And this is all after winning a championship in the bubble and then having the shortest offseason in NBA history. Again, he's 36 years old and he's doing this. You cannot tell me LeBron's not the MVP. I mean, he should have probably won it last year. It should have been closer at least, Giannis and LeBron, but I think LeBron is running away with it.
But here's a question I have for you. So you mentioned how they don't have the best team right now, but something that just has crossed my mind is if everybody says that the Lakers are the favorite to win the title, that means that they're the best team. And then other people will take away from other players because they're on such a good team. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well,
Really?
The thing with that is, my personal list is Embiid, Curry, and then LeBron and KD tied for third. I have Embiid and Curry because, Embiid, I already said why. Curry, I remember at the beginning, I think it might have been episode 4, something like that. I was saying Curry can't carry a team by himself. He can't carry a team without Clay, Draymond, and another all-star. But he proved me wrong. Here he's doing it. He's out here averaging, I think he's is he second in the league in scoring, Curry?
Probably, I think so, yeah. I mean, he's averaging at least
he's behind Beal.
Beal, yeah. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
so he's second in the league in scoring, and if you take him off that team, those Warriors are not winning another 10 games for the rest of the season, I promise you. But LeBron and KD, you take them off their teams, LeBron still has an all-time great big man already with Anthony Davis and a pretty solid supporting cast, and Kevin Durant has Kyrie and James Harden.
Embiid doesn't
So
have
he's
an
got
all NBA player next to him, and
he's got Simmons, who's averaging 14 a
arguably one
game.
of the best
He's-
defenders in the
But
league.
Embiid,
No.
Best defender.
Embiid is
And then he has Tobias Harris and Seth Curry are having both career years,
oh my god,
nearly averaging like 20 a
Yeah.
game.
Seth Curry is averaging 13. Tobias Harris is averaging 20. I'll give you that. He's averaging 20 a game. But
Okay,
His
Story.
you said it. He's never done this before. This is a career year for Tobias Harris. Probably be because he's playing with MVP Joel Embiid on his team.
Playing with Doc Rivers. That's-
Jorie though, Giannis was MVP and he had Chris Middleton on his team. Is there going to be another All-Star on Philly besides Embiid?
And Simmons. I don't understand why you guys think
Is
that.
I
he
don't
going to
know if
be
he's
an
gonna be-
all-star,
I
though?
don't think
Is he
he's
going
gonna
to
be
be an all-star?
How would he not be?
Because he's not voted, and I don't think he's voted in the top 10 so far.
Yeah, but that's fan voting. Like that's not the only thing, you know. It goes through media and
Yeah, but there's so many.
they
There's
understand his value, unlike a lot of fans for some reason.
bro. Okay, all right. I gotta say, you overrate his defense.
You're like what? I don't get
Bro,
what?
every
He can
single
literally
time I
guard
watch the
any
Sixers-
player in the league.
No, he cannot, bro. He's
Oh my
not
God.
fast enough to keep up with the
That's
quick
cap.
guards.
I
Like,
watched him lock
right
down
now.
Damian Lillard that entire game.
Damian had scored like 30 points, bro, and he gave up 36 to Devin Booker, and he gave up a bunch of points to De'Aaron Fox.
You don't.
I'm watching these games, and he's just getting blown right by. His only chance of stopping is like trying to get a block.
No.
Or
No, all right. I'm not that big of a hater. I'll admit Ben Simmons can play some defense, but he's not even the best defender on the team. He's not better than Embiid, and he's not even averaging 15 a game. Like, how are you going to sit here and say Joel Embiid really has help?
That's just
Tobias Harris
I
is
mean,
having a once in a
you
lifetime.
take Ben Simmons off that
season.
team. They're probably like a 6 seed at best. I mean, they literally got swept without him last year. I don't understand what more they need to show.
Nah, they had Ben Simmons last year. They didn't have Embiid last year.
They lost Ben Simmons in the bubble and they got swept. That's literally
I
what
thought it was the other way around. I thought they lost
It
Embiid.
was Embiid only, and they got freaking swept. But somehow Ben Simmons is not a valuable player.
okay, well they also got like a bunch of pieces over the offseason.
Oh, so they have help now. Oh, I get
No,
it.
no,
Now
no.
they
They
have
didn't
help.
even. No.
All right, they're a solid-
Toby doesn't even know what he's talking about.
They're a
because
solid
The
defense.
only help is Shake Milton. Like that guy doesn't. That guy, who's ever heard
Like
of
a
Shake
sixth
Milton?
man of the year candidate. Like you're naming players that are all
No,
competing.
no, Dory. These are
Like
players.
unlike LeBron and the Lakers. Like Anthony Davis has taken a step back this season because
It's not that he's taking a step back. He just sucks.
it's because
I wouldn't say
probably
that.
the short off season. He's probably tired. LeBron has yet to miss a single game this year. He's literally playing out of his mind. Having one of the most efficient seasons of his career. Like
Statistically, Joel Embiid is still better though.
it's because the way I mean, the offensive hub that LeBron is just doesn't even equate to what Joel Embiid does. Like Joel could put up 30 a game, but LeBron, in terms of his scoring and playmaking, probably adds like 60 a game for the Lakers. Like that's something Embiid and no one else in the league, period, can do.
I mean,
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know about that, Jory. I might just not have anything to say, but you
I mean,
also
in terms,
might be.
if you're talking in terms
going
of
crazy.
playmaking, I honestly, we got to give some respect to James Harden because he might be the best playmaker in the NBA right now. Bro, he's getting like 14, 15, 16 assists every single game on a team he just joined. What,
So-
like what?
Because they only let him and 2 other guys in the whole team touch the ball.
That's first of all, that's not even true.
When have you ever seen anybody on that team that isn't named Kevin Durant,
Like-
Kyrie, or James Harden take up the ball?
All right, well, if you're talking about like taking it up the court, but scoring wise,
Legit
it's
has-
pretty equal. Scoring wise, it's pretty equal around every starter.
He
at least.
literally has two of the arguably the greatest scorers in the league at the moment in Durant and Kyrie.
But he plays with the bench squad for
lob-
most of the game. He
lob
doesn't
threat
play with. They
with-
don't play.
DeAndre Jordan and then a knockdown shooter with Joe Harris.
Yeah, but he plays when Kyrie and KD are taken off the court. He's playing with the bench squad.
Oh, I think we knew that Harden was one of the best playmakers. I mean, he was doing that in Houston. I don't think that's anything new.
No, he wasn't. He was not doing it.
Literally
Like
averaged. He was literally a league leader in assists one season.
yeah, but this is different, bro. He's not shooting at all. Like he's just trying to get assists.
Okay, so yeah, like I don't.
No, okay, you haven't been watching the Nets games clearly.
No.
I don't want to watch them. Nobody wants to watch a team that's gonna get knocked out in the second round. I mean,
Right. Okay, Nuggets fan. Okay.
got to take this dub against the Lakers tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Two players that I think are tied behind Embiid and LeBron are Giannis and Durant. I think Giannis is not going to win because of voter fatigue, because nobody votes a player for the same award 3 times in a row, even though he's basically having the same exact season as his first MVP season in terms of his production and then his team success. And then Durant, he's been, the fact that he's coming off an Achilles injury, averaging 29 a game and 7 rebounds, and also shooting basically 50, 40, 90 this
Yeah.
season, almost.
It's really crazy. I couldn't, never in a million years, not with anybody, even LeBron, I would have said he's not coming back like this.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to win because, like we were just saying, he plays with Harden and Kyrie, and it's difficult to say who really contributes the most to winning on that team. And not to mention, he's also missed a handful of games because of COVID and injuries. So, but he's probably going to be like an all NBA first team. I mean, if we're being honest, those 4, Embiid, Giannis, Durant, LeBron, are probably going to make up the all NBA first team. And then I don't know who the 5th person would be.
Probably Curry.
Could they do that though? Because they don't have a guard.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
So one of them
That's going to be crazy. Somebody's not going to make it then.
It's probably going to be Giannis, honestly.
That's what I would say. Him or KD, they'll probably just put KD on second team because he came back from an injury.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about Curry and Jokic. Another player who we didn't even mention is Luka, who's playing right now. But he was said during a conversation with Stephen A. Smith, he said, honestly, I don't believe I should be in the MVP conversation this year, even though he's averaging 28.5 points, 8.7 rebounds, 9.4 assists, shooting 46% from the field and 32% from 3. I think he mainly said it because the Mavericks are not as successful as they were last year. I mean, at the moment, before this game ends, between them and the Blazers, they're 13 and 14, 9th in the Western Conference.
They're probably going to lose. They're down by 11 right now.
Yeah, so do you think Doncic is being too hard on himself? And also, do you guys think that we put too much emphasis on team success when considering the MVP award? Because it's always, the player has to be a good player, first of all, and then his team has to be like top 4 in the conference or even better. So do you think we put too much emphasis on how good a team is when considering the MVP award?
I think it's pretty solid because I wrote it down. In the since 2014, the MVP winners have been KD, Curry, Russ, Harden, Giannis, and Giannis. And for most of those years, they have been the best player on the best team. But 2017 and 2018, I don't know what seed the Rockets were, but when Russ won that MVP, wasn't the Thunder like the 6th, 7th, or like 8th seed? They were one of the
They were
bottom
at
seeds in the
6
West.
seed. Yeah, I think they're a 6 seed.
But he also averaged a triple double.
That's what I was gonna say. That one was
Yeah.
warranted because of that. But
First time in like that was his first season he did that.
he did it in the next year too. But those 2
Yeah,
years
but
were
that
a
was
little
the first
messed up because in 2017, if it weren't for Russ getting the triple double, it should have been Harden. And then in 2018, they gave it to Harden to make up for him not getting it the year before. But besides that, I think it's been pretty consistent with picking the best player on the best team.
Well, what do you think about Luka Doncic?
I agree with him. I don't think he should be the MVP
That's kind of what I was going to say too,
because LeBron's doing the same thing and is the 2nd seed in the West.
also Luka,
He said he shouldn't even be in the conversation.
That's
Not only he didn't say I shouldn't be the MVP. He said I shouldn't even be in the conversation for MVP.
I'd
That's different.
say he's like 5th, 6th, or 7th. I think the top 4 is definitely Embiid, Curry, LeBron, and KD, and then you could throw Giannis in there, you could throw Jokic in there, and then you could throw Luka in there.
nah, he's definitely being too hard on himself. But also at the same time, I understand where he's coming from because when we're talking about most valuable player, if you're on a bad team, like you could still be valuable to that team, but that value is not like on the same level as if you're contributing on a winning team, if that makes any sense. So if the Mavericks were like a 1st through 4th seed in the West, then I would say he would definitely be top 3 conversation. But he should, we should still be talking about him as a potential MVP because we don't know what he could do in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Like he could just go off for all we know. Kristaps, they could just find their chemistry and I honestly feel like they could win a bunch of games.
Kristaps.
I thought the Mavericks were going to be really good this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean they pushed the Clippers to 6 games, I think it was in the playoffs, and then I don't know, they just haven't been the same. I think it's because Steven Silas left, their coach, and now he's in Houston. I just feel like the NBA, they need a definition of what the MVP is, like a clear definition, because like you were just saying, some season it goes to the best player on the best team. Other seasons it goes to the best narrative. And then I feel like rarely it just goes to the player who is actually the most valuable to their team. Like if you were to take a player off that team, that said player off their team, would that team be how much worse would they be?
I mean,
I feel like that's what the MVP is.
In that case, I would give the MVP to Bradley Beal because if it weren't for him, the Wizards wouldn't have a single win.
They don't drop off.
They're
the
still
worst team in
terrible,
the
though.
league. They can't really get worse.
But that's
the
what I'm
thing.
saying. Like, if you're gonna they literally wouldn't have a win if it weren't for Bradley Beal.
Well, I mean, it literally wouldn't change though because they're already the worst team in the league, other than the Timberwolves. So it really doesn't really make a difference. Even if it's good to have a show in the win column, but when you're dead last, it doesn't make it that much of a difference. But
isn't Bradley Beal first in All-Star voting?
I think among Eastern guards, I think so.
Shouts out to him. He deserves it.
I don't know if he's gonna make the starting lineup though.
I mean,
it's got to be him and
better.
Kyrie.
I don't know.
Or if it's not him, it's got to be Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown's been getting snubbed in those All-Star voting. He's ending up 4th and 5th place. There's no way. There's no way. But to what Lucas said, like I said earlier, the Jazz, they're the best record in NBA, but nobody is saying Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert is the MVP. But
Okay,
like other seasons, it's been, Giannis was the best player on the best team, so he's the back-to-back MVP. Or
Giannis
Harden
matched
is
anybody else statistically.
that's what I'm like.
It's got to be like a
layers
mix
to
of both.
Yeah, it does. You can't just be like, oh yeah, best guy on the best team, or oh yeah, best scorer, like best stats. Because
It
I
just
mean,
seems like
the Jazz are. It's just like that's a team. That's a team. Like everybody knows their role. Everybody only does their role. Everybody knows. Like the
One of those
chemistry is
they've been playing
good.
forever.
It's got all. It's just the perfect team. It's the perfect team. But the Lakers, like, they have LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like, what are you gonna do about that?
I think if you were to take Doncic off the Mavericks, I think what I said they were 9th right now. I mean, they would be at the bottom of the league. I think.
I think
Same
so.
thing with Curry and the Warriors. Same thing with Jokic and the Nuggets. I think they would all be some of the worst teams in the NBA without those.
I agree
superstar
with that.
players.
I agree with that.
Which is, I feel like those players never get enough respect because, like, yeah, they're like middling 6, 7 seeds, and everyone's like, oh, they shouldn't be considered for MVP because their team sucks. But like, yeah, their team actually sucks outside of them, so you have to like give them some slack. You can't. If you're not playing with another, all-star caliber player, it's not fair to say, oh, they should be the best team in the league. Like, that's just not how the league works. It's like when you have teams like the Lakers, like the Nets, like the Clippers, where you have multiple all-stars on the team, it's like impossible if you're just one guy to be, you can't carry a team like that anymore.
So, are we not going to give respect to Kawhi or Paul George in the MVP conversation?
I mean, I think Kawhi definitely deserves some, but again, just
I don't know where I'd put him.
I'd probably put him like probably behind the 4 players that I mentioned earlier: LeBron, Embiid, Giannis, Durant, and then probably behind Jokic. So I'd probably put him like 6th or 7th.
So you don't even have Curry, and you don't even think Curry has any chance of winning it, Jorie?
No, I don't.
What?
I don't have any. I don't think he's going to win it either.
What? I think he's second in the MVP race. He's gotta be.
Second.
Yes. He's gonna be second in the league in scoring and single-handedly give the Warriors every win they have.
I mean, he's a non-factor on defense.
Yeah,
He's guarding your worst player. Like, he's
And-
guarding-
But that's what they got Draymond for.
that's like it's nice to put up 30 a game, but I feel like we value points per game a little bit too much in the league. I mean, yeah, it always
I
is a
agree a
constant
little.
factor on like who the best players are, but at the same time, like if that's I'm not saying that's all he does, but I'm just saying like it looks nice, but it doesn't necessarily equate to who the best player is. But
he just fits so well with that system because there's like they have such a solid, like they have Draymond and Wiggin. Like he's got some defenders around him. That's really just what he needs.
Yeah, and he's got James Wiseman now. It's really a shame that guy went to the Warriors because that guy's sick.
I think I don't know if he would be as.
I mean, every sick rookie went to the worst teams.
I'm
Like
liking
quickly.
what I'm seeing from Anthony Edwards a little bit more and more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked him before the draft. I just said if he goes to the Timberwolves, I'm gonna hate it because their team is just so bad.
It would have been perfect if Cat and D'Lo had actually played games together. Like they've played like 5 games since D'Lo went to Minnesota.
Yeah, because that guy Cat doesn't ever want to show up.
We can we can continue this conversation, but let's transition to what we wanted to talk about. So I mean, this is something that you mentioned, Justin, a while ago, but with the emergence of teams like the Hornets, like the Knicks, like the Cavs in the East, They've looked a lot better this season. But would you consider that the Eastern Conference is the better conference now? Because I feel like historically, and I have a lot of numbers to back this up, they've just been a better conference overall. So I did a little research. The last 7 years, so not including last year, beginning with the season after the NBA lockout season, and then not including the, last year when the season got cut short. The average amount of wins by the number one seed in the Eastern Conference was 58.7. So the top seed in the East would win on average 58.7 games. In the West, it was 64.4. And then in the average number of wins by an eighth seed in the East was 40.4. And the eighth seed in the West was 45.9. And then over the last 8 seasons, so including last year, the Western Conference team is 5-3 in the NBA Finals. And they're also 5-3 in the MVP race. And 7 of the last 8 scoring champions came from the Western Conference. The only player being Carmelo to lead the league in scoring out of the East. And then at the moment, at this current moment in time, the 3 best records in the NBA are Western Conference teams, that being the Jazz, Lakers, and Clippers. So, I mean, yeah, I think the bottom teams or the middling teams in the East have gotten better. But I think overall, I think the Western Conference is still just a better conference, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really thought I had something with that argument when I brought it up, but the West is just better.
Historically, the West is obviously better.
Yeah.
But I will point this out. In my opinion, it's easier to get to the playoffs as a West team this year than it is for an East team.
This year? You're saying?
Because I feel like the West this year is more top heavy than the East, whereas the East is more spread out.
I guess what you're saying.
Yeah, I can agree with that. The talent is more spread out in the East, where the teams in the West is if you're not like one of the best teams, it's just like you're eh.
And I will point out another statistic. So far this year, East teams versus West teams, East teams are 54 and 88. So that's not a very good look for the East teams.
Yeah.
But then again, most if you look at the standings, all of the top teams on the West have won like way more games than the top teams on the East.
Yeah, I was gonna say the top 8 seeds in the West all have a positive record. Only 4 teams in the East do. The West has 4 teams with less than 10 losses, and the East only has 1.
I feel like that really just proves Toby's point, and then the West is really top heavy, and then the East is a bunch of teams that really haven't separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Like, I feel like the Sixers, probably the Bucks, and then probably the Nets have like kind of, separated themselves from the rest of the teams in the conference. But like the Celtics, Pacers, Hornets, Knicks, I mean, there's probably a tier separated in there somewhere, but like a lot of those teams can like beat up on each other, and like it wouldn't be a surprise.
And then you got teams that should be in the playoffs, like conversation, that are just not performing that well so far.
The Raptors started to pick it up. The Raptors are like 1 or 2 games behind.
Yeah, like, and you have teams like exactly like the Raptors, like the Heat,
finally starting to pick everything up, figure out what they're doing.
And then teams that started pretty hot and early in the season, like the Cavs, like the Hawks, who are kind of like slowing down a little bit, like younger teams, but have a lot of potential to be a better team in the future.
I was going to say that a lot of the teams in the East they're younger. More teams in the East have younger players than teams in the West. I feel like teams in the West are.
Is that true though?
I think it is, because listen, think about it.
I don't
The
know.
teams in
I
the
don't know.
East.
I don't know. I don't know.
Think
Is
about it.
there-
Teams in the East are the Sixers, Bucks, Nets, they're not really that young. The Pacers and the Celtics are like one of the youngest teams in the league. Charlotte, the Knicks, Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, like they're all led by players who are like younger than 25 years old.
But I think there's a lot of teams in the West that are like on the same level. If you look, Pelicans,
I would
Phoenix,
say, like,
maybe.
the Suns are a
The
pretty young
Warriors,
team.
yeah.
I mean,
The
they're led by
the
Chris
Nuggets.
Paul, but like, their whole starting lineup is like crazy young.
Yeah, but all those young
Spurs
teams
are
in the
young.
West, the young teams in the West suck.
I don't know, the Spurs.
Spurs are nice.
Are they
Yeah, the
really
Spurs-
that young of a team though? Like
Yeah, they're young.
And we know
Their
the
best players are
Pelicans.
essentially
the Pelicans are not good.
Dejounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, and
They got
Lonnie
what's his
Walker.
face?
Lonnie
Lonnie
Walker.
Walker. Yeah.
That guy's not
Then-
good though. Like they're not good players.
DeMar
DeJounte
is, like-
Murray's the only half decent player you just named.
Like DeMar is like Keldon Johnson's nice. You're sleeping on Keldon Johnson.
Justin, but they're on the Spurs. You know they're going to be solid players in their position. Like
They're
throughout
gonna be
their career.
solid. They're not gonna be all NBA players like almost every guy on one of these Eastern Conference teams is gonna be.
We don't know, dude.
And then the Nuggets are a pretty young team
Yeah,
outside of like Millsap.
Dallas maybe, Memphis.
The Kings, Grizzlies, and Pelicans are three teams that
They are all not making the playoffs.
yeah, but they're all like those three. They might have some of the best futures in the league.
Oh,
Do
Jorie.
they though?
Jorie.
But
I mentioned I wanted to make a statement somewhere in this podcast.
oh my god!
I think you might know what it's about already.
I mean,
What?
we're talking about the Kings, so it has to be something about.
I just want to. All right, well, I want to give you an apology.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
Tyrese Halliburton may have proved me wrong. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
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 Just
That's what I like to hear.
give me a chance to explain myself though.
That goes wild.
Oh well, first of all, I was hating on him a lot because just to piss you off, like just to make you mad. But I also did say he was going to be a solid role player like throughout his career. I admit he might be more than that, but I still don't like his chances at being an all-star.
He's not gonna be an all-star.
I mean, I
like, you
respect-
mean ever or this
Like
season?
ever.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. He might be a couple-time all-star.
I respect that. I mean, I can see him. I just knew he was NBA ready. We talked about that. I don't remember when, but
Probably the first episode.
he was. I knew he was going to be solid immediately because his game is going to translate to the NBA like perfectly because his basketball IQ was so high and he has like good size for an NBA player. Like I knew he was going to be solid, but
Oh, I want to apologize because I did say that he was a bum on like one of the episodes.
I just
and,
know. I just remember watching him a ton because he played. I think he played Seton Hall twice last season. I'm like, this guy is going to be dirty, and I just watched him a little bit more because at Iowa State. Also, I also liked him a lot because Monte Morris who was on the Nuggets. He also went to Iowa State. So I'm like, all right, well, they just must breed point guards then that are going to be nice. That's exactly what happened. So
I like him as a facilitator.
I feel like he landed in a really good spot too. I feel like I don't know if he would have made much of an impact somewhere else, but going to the Kings was outside of I think going to the Hawks was probably the perfect destination for him.
I don't know. I could see him being like one of those players that is like never makes an all-star team, and then at the end of his career, they're like, "Dang, he should have made one all-star
He's
team."
gonna be someone like like Mike Conley, like Malcolm Brogdon, like a really really solid point guard, but he plays in the Western Conference, so he's just not probably ever gonna get the love that he deserves.
I hate his jump shot. I hate his. Jump shot.
Yeah, I hate his jump shot too.
Yeah, it is
He
pretty.
shoots it like a high schooler.
Hey, it goes in. It goes in. It's efficient. So
I don't know how much success he'll see as long as he stays on the Kings, though.
I feel like the Kings are building something though.
He
have a
did
nice
start a couple
squad.
games.
Got a
like,
nice little
recently.
squad now. I like.
Yeah, the
De'Aaron
Kings
Fox
aren't too bad.
is one of the most underrated players in the league. I think, just straight up, like that guy does not get enough appreciation whatsoever.
Who?
De'Aaron Fox,
Oh yeah.
and then Rashawn Holmes. He's just been
He's good. He's
been
nice.
a
I
lot
like-
better than I think people realize. So
I don't know. That team is still trash though. Honestly, like
they're building.
Marvin Bagley's a bust. If Spencer ever watches this episode, he's gonna hate me for it. But
I think
Marvin
I said he
Bagley's
was
not
going to
good.
be the most improved player, and one of my picks was him.
I don't even know how he's doing this year.
It's been like he's some games where he like looks good, but I don't think he's going to amount to anything.
But
Sad.
could Halliburton really grow with playing with De'Aaron Fox next to him
Yeah,
as a
what-
point guard?
Now, I want to see why it couldn't only get better. I mean, I like
Because he's I don't know.
I hate scenarios like that where like you already have somebody, but then you draft somebody at the same position. It's like
I don't know. I feel like he's not necessarily like he's a good facility. Like he's really like I don't know. It's kind of similar to like what Lonzo is. Like he's like Lonzo. You wouldn't consider him anything other than a point guard because of how the way he plays. But like he's not like he can play off the ball. Like
he does get a decent amount of boards too.
Yeah, like he can play like I don't know. It's weird. Like he's really more like a playmaking wing than like a point guard. But everyone just gonna label him a point guard because of his size and the way he plays. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I could kind of see him like not really as a point guard, but more of a shooting guard role,
Like a
just
combo
getting
guard.
buckets,
Yeah. We'll see.
catch and shoot.
Kings, they got a steal with him. They really did.
you
Well,
think the Kings are gonna get rid of Buddy? There have been for past couple seasons now. There have been a couple things about Buddy getting traded.
I mean, I don't know what they would want for him. And I don't know where he would want to go.
With the
I think-
Knicks, just cause.
I think if they miss the playoffs, they're going to see a lot of changes this year. I feel like the only untouchable players on that team are Fox and Halliburton probably now, and maybe Holmes.
Do they have a draft pick this year?
Damn, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
They could really just tank,
Oh.
honestly.
No, I wouldn't. Well, let's focus on someone else. Who else has? I mean, in the whether East or West. I feel like we haven't talked about the Timberwolves. I mean, we just talked about them a little bit, Anthony Edwards. But like, what the hell is wrong with this team? Why are they so bad?
It's a different guy getting injured every other game. Like
I don't understand why this team.
Pat never plays. Besides like D'Lo and Malik Beasley and obviously Anthony Edwards, the whole roster stinks.
Malik Beasley, I really thought this team was going to be like the first time making the playoffs in a while this year,
Yeah.
or at least had a chance.
Malik Beasley was a nice little pickup. I figured.
Just because their team is always injured, it's always somebody different every game.
I also hear a lot of stuff about their coaching. Like
Yeah, they probably have a terrible coaching staff.
they probably have a bad coaching staff too. I don't know, but
Ryan Saunders. Yeah, because who the hell was their coach? Isn't that the son of Flip Saunders who coached there when like KG was the coach? I think that's his son.
I'm not sure.
That's probably a good job.
The guy probably sucks then.
Bro, I'm pissed that D'Lo landed there though,
Why?
because it's like cool that he wants to play with Cat and stuff, but I just want to see him on like a contending team for once in his career. Like I don't know.
I was talking with Spencer last night. He was trying to tell me how I took a fat ass L by getting that D'Lo jersey from when he was on the Warriors. He was like,
Wow,
that guy
that's
played
tough.
like 3 weeks on that team, and he's never like he bought that jersey.
It's cool to get those kinds of jerseys.
That's what I told him. I was like, I'll never remember that except for I have the jersey. Everybody's gonna be like,
and
oh,
no one else will have it. Like no
Yeah.
one else is gonna have that jersey. I mean, maybe like people maybe in like the Bay Area.
Did you
like-
get the white colorway?
Oh yeah, obviously.
You should have got the
those are
baby
cool
blue.
'cause they stand out. Like, oh, he's got a,
Like,
like role player jerseys are pretty tough. If we're being honest, like
oh yeah. Like,
Everyone
imagine if I
has-
had a Baron Davis Knicks jersey. Like, that'd be so tough.
everyone wants to wear LeBron or Zion or something, but like
Those are low key my favorite jerseys.
gotta get
Yeah.
the role players.
I was gonna get a Karis LeVert jersey.
Karis LeVert. I want to get a Monte Morris jersey. I want
Wow,
to get
that
the
That guy's
Nuggets.
a bum.
Nah, I want to
Nah,
get
I'm just
the,
playing.
I
Nah,
wanna
he's
get
not.
the
No, I know.
the Mile High City jersey, the blue one.
From last
I don't
year?
even know what you're talking about.
It's like their city jerseys or
Is
whatever.
that the one from last year?
They still wear them this year.
Oh, is that the one that the Detroit Pistons stole?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know what those jerseys.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Toby.
they've basically made the Nuggets exact same jerseys.
Wait,
Just-
the Nuggets City unis you said, Jory?
Yeah, it's just it literally says Mile High City on them. I think it's their city uniforms. Oh, the Motor City ones you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally just
Those are-
copied and pasted.
Those are I can see what you're saying, but kind of.
They changed them, Jory. They don't wear those anymore this year.
The mile Yes, they do. I literally
No, they
watched
don't.
the Mile High City. The like blue ones.
They still have those?
Yeah. those
Because I
big-
just looked it up. The city unis are like those nasty maroon and orange ones now.
those I mean they might not be their city jerseys then. They might just be like alternate jerseys. I don't know, but those are their best uniforms. The Nuggets' best uniforms.
Really? You think so?
Yes. Better than their home and away ones and better than those stupid red ones that they got. I mean,
I like the rainbow ones.
yeah.
I don't know if they still have those though.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of jerseys though, I think the Jazz the city uniforms, I think they're the city uniforms. Those might be the best ones in the league.
The
Yeah,
Jazz?
those like the ones from last year, but then they changed it.
Like
Ones that are
black
black.
ones.
black and then like gradient orange and yellow.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, but they kind of remind me too much of the Suns.
Yeah,
Those Suns, I was just about to say, those Suns ones are nice too.
yeah, those I like the colorways on them.
My favorite ones, hold on. My favorite
s-
unis right now are the Spurs City unis.
Some nice city uniforms in
These
the
ones,
league right now.
these shits. Oh, come on, stupid camera. It's not.
Oh
gonna
yeah, I see. I saw. I
Yeah,
saw.
the one with like the green, orange, and pink going through the middle. Those are clean.
Justin, your Knicks have some of the best unis.
Those are terrible.
Those
Those-
black ones.
Those Kith ones, dude. Look at this sweatshirt too. I got this sweatshirt for it.
Yeah, those unis are hot.
No, they're not. I hate them.
Why?
I hate being a Knicks fans. We have some of the ugliest jerseys.
That's cap.
That's cap, bro.
No, you definitely
You see those nasty colors? Imagine putting orange and blue on a team together.
That's tough, bro. You're the only team in existence that has those colorways.
Mets.
Besides the what? That's a New York thing, bro.
Broncos. The Broncos. They
Okay, yeah, no, he's right. Blue with something else is the New York thing.
Because they also got the Islanders.
Who are good? Aren't they good this year for some reason?
I don't know. I don't watch hockey.
Well,
I watch baseball.
who else? I mean,
Bro, the Knicks are making the playoffs though.
I've been trying to tell everybody, don't sleep on the Knicks.
yeah, that Derrick Rose trade was nice. I was watching their game against. I
But
don't remember who? I think it was the Rockets.
Rockets, yeah. We blew out the Rockets.
I like Derrick Rose a lot. I just like him as a player and person. He just seems like a super genuine guy. He seems like he really cares about that team, which is cool to see. I like that he made that kind of transition. You don't see that a lot in stars, like former star players, where it takes a lot of time to transition to that role.
Yeah, it took Melo like 3 or 4 years. That guy
Yeah,
was like,
that's why
I am
they
not
put him in
coming
the
off the
league.
bench.
Yeah, and they just were like blackballed him out of the league.
You remember he said that when he first got to the Thunder? He was like at like media day or whatever, and somebody was like, how do you feel about everybody saying you're coming off the bench? And he goes, hey, yo, P, You heard they say I'm coming off the bench,
Well, now
and
he's
then they kicked him out of the league for it. Basically,
coming off the bench, balling out for the Blazers.
Luka just choked. And they lost by
Ah.
3.
Did they really?
I mean, there's 3 seconds left. Anything can happen, but I'm probably gonna lose.
We got to pay our respects to Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gonna be out for like a month or so.
fractured his hand.
That was no. Wait, who are the Mavericks playing?
The Blazers. Greatest thing, Melo bringing back them cornrows, baby. You love to see it. You love it.
And he's been balling too. He's getting big game buckets.
Yeah,
Huh?
those are nice. I like what I'm seeing. From
It looks like Luka's about to rip his jersey off of him. The guy is mad. That guy is big mad right now.
I'll be
Bro, Luka's the biggest rager in the NBA.
He really is. He really is. That's why he shouldn't win MVP. That's why he shouldn't be in the conversation because he's a rager.
I
everyone.
don't know.
Everyone's saying he's got his level of play and his his skill set is obviously at the top of the league, but everyone's saying he needs to become that. He needs to take that next step that like what LeBron did,
Needs to become a dog.
a leader. Yeah, because everyone's saying he's not really that. He doesn't have it in him.
I mean, he is only 21. Like,
Yeah, that's another thing. We have to remember this guy is still
That's
like one of the
that's
young.
very scary.
Yeah, this guy-
Imagine in 5 years what he could become.
Yeah,
What the
it's
Mavericks could become with Kristaps.
Yeah, if those two both can stay healthy and continue to grow together.
They just need a few pieces.
I hate that guy, Kristaps Porzingis.
Because you're a biased Knicks fan.
Yeah, because you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah, the guy left for no good reason at all.
Because you guys booed him when you drafted him.
Okay, well, nobody heard of this guy before the draft.
That was actually hilarious, though. That was one of
That kid crying on the screen.
Jeez. Wow.
He met that kid too. He met that kid and was like, you want to cry now? And he was like, no, you're pretty sick. He was pretty sick too. He was sick when he was on the Knicks. And then
Yeah, he was.
Phil
balling out.
Jackson ruined us. Phil Jackson ruined the franchise.
Mhm. Well, is there any other squads you want to talk about? I mean,
Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets. They're gonna win the NBA Finals.
other
making
than the Nets, other than the Knicks, other than the Nuggets.
I just had our episode 2 guest, Jay Brown. I had him over today, and we were watching the Sixers game from last night when they lost to whoever they were playing.
The Suns and Devin
Yeah.
Booker gave
Oh yeah,
Ben Simmons 36 buckets or 36 points.
not even his fault.
So yeah,
Like he puts some. You act like Ben Simmons plays. defense.
How good do we think that DeAndre Ayton is going to be? Because he was the number 1 pick.
yeah, he's gonna be good. I think so.
How do you
I
think
think-
he has progressed so far?
You have to remember that he's also only like 21, I think. I mean,
This is his 3rd year, right?
yes, he's the same year as Luca and Trey Young. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't see him being like the top tier centers like Joel Embiid and Jokic, but he's definitely gonna be like right under that. If that makes any sense. I'm trying to think of an example.
I was gonna say he's gonna be like Rudy Gobert level, but for different reasons.
I feel like I feel like everyone expected him to take a huge leap because of Chris Paul, and everyone figured, oh, he's gonna get. When you have one of the best playmakers in the league, you're gonna increase your production. But I feel like the real beneficiary has been everyone else other than him, because he can shoot, he can shoot from the outside, but I feel like he does a lot of his work on the post, so
Mhm.
it's hard to have an offense where you have Devin Booker, Chris Paul handling the ball, and then also him doing his thing down low. So he's gonna be okay though. I feel like Chris Paul isn't gonna be there for much longer.
What kind of contract is Chris Paul under right now?
I think he was traded.
Mm-hmm.
He might have like 2 more years left or one more after this season. I think. I could be wrong.
Honestly, I think this team might be Chris Paul's best chance to ever win a ring.
No,
No?
because I feel like he could very easily get traded.
those Clippers teams were pretty crazy. He never even
That's true.
reached the conference finals, right? I think he was.
I mean, I wouldn't trade Chris Paul. I think the Suns are in a great position. I think the Suns are in a great position.
Downfall with them is that the fact that he's basically the only player outside of like Jay Crowder that's even been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
How old is Chris Paul?
he's like 35, I think.
We got to give him his respect.
He's not even a Hall of Famer.
Dude, every team he goes to, they're gonna be a playoff team.
That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Just
I don't like that guy, Chris Paul.
he's probably a top 5 point guard.
I mean, I hate his guts too. But like
he's one of the best point guards of all time.
Is he though?
Yes.
he's top
Like,
10.
like Toby said, everywhere he goes, he wins.
What has he won though? What has he won?
Well, he at least makes the
He's
playoffs.
better.
Makes it
That's what I'm
competitive.
saying. Like when was the last time he missed the playoffs? Literally tell me when was the last. He's basically like he has the same effect as like LeBron, where he might. I mean,
Yes.
LeBron's different when you can't compare him to LeBron because LeBron instantly makes a team, regardless of who's around him. A finals.
It's on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of players that are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he was on the Lakers somehow, I would have to admit that would be the end. That would be terrible, bro. Bro, I hate the Lakers so much.
the Nuggets are playing the Lakers right now.
Hmm?
Probably gonna lose because
LeBron just threw down a crazy putback.
Jamal is playing. Never mind. I think
I still don't think the Lakers are a lock for the finals though.
who is
I'm not saying
are
there's
the
nobody.
Jazz? Are the Jazz for real? Are they?
Nobody's a lock. The Jazz are for real, bro. They
Nah.
Are they really?
They
Are
could
they
really.
Are they really? Are they?
The Jazz,
are they-
listen to me, Toby. Listen to me.
I also have another question too.
The Jazz are not beating the Lakers or Clippers.
Or the Nuggets.
Okay, I think they can definitely beat the Nuggets.
You know how they're on
They
crazy,
match up well against the Lakers,
You know
though.
how they're on this crazy win
They
streak.
don't though. They don't match up well with the
Yes,
Lakers.
they do. Yes, they do, bro.
Oh.
They both have depth. Okay, they have a big man that can stop AD.
I don't know about that, but
You don't
Well,
think Gobert's
I
one of the
think
best?
I think AD is going to be. I think AD if
but
the
you're right.
West Finals is Lakers Jazz, AD is going to be a non-factor.
Like
And
the-
Gobert is locking that guy up to less than 20 points per game.
I think with the Jazz is that they have to stay healthy, but they're like top, like 1 through 8 in their rotation is probably the best in the league. Like they might not have the best player. You know, if Donovan Mitchell is your best player, like I don't know, he's probably not better than like half the Western Conference superstars, but like when you factor in the fact that they also have Gobert, they also have Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson, who's might be the 6th man of the year,
Royce O'Neal.
who's like does a little bit of everything for them. You know, it's like their rotation, their playoff rotation is probably one of the best.
I think they still got Derek Favors.
Yeah.
They just got a lot of solid veterans on that team. And it's one of those teams that have been playing together for like years.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're going to get a Lakers Clippers Western Conference Finals, or do you think the Jazz are going to disrupt that?
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Yeah, that's
I
tough.
want it to be LA versus LA, but I really do think that
Last year,
actually
everyone
no, that's cap.
even more last year, everyone was saying there's no way that it's not Lakers Clippers, and then the Nuggets somehow
Yeah, and then the Clippers choked, and now nobody knows.
But
I think this
the
year's
Jazz
different, though.
are looking like a better team than the Nuggets did last year. So like the Jazz seem like more like of a serious contender than the Nuggets looked the last year, at least at this point.
That's what I'm saying. They're like they could really beat one of those
No.
top 3 teams.
No, the
No.
Jazz ain't.
But
The Jazz.
thing is, if
The Jazz
if
aren't that good.
the thing is, the way the seeding is, they literally wouldn't have to face the Lakers or the Clippers until that point. So if they are the number 1 seed and it's Lakers Clippers second and third, that would be the semifinals matchup. Lakers Clippers if those two got there. So that literally might not even be a possible matchup.
I just want to see them face each other. Lakers, Clippers, at least
But I
once
feel
in
like-
the finals
Yeah.
or in the playoffs.
That would be crazy if it's not those two in the Western Conference Finals.
Bro, it really could be somebody else.
The Jazz, they just got to keep winning.
It's gonna be LA. Like
It might literally not be able to. I'm saying like the way the seeding works, like that would it literally.
okay, well, the Jazz aren't gonna last as the number 1 seed. I promise you.
They could, bro. We've seen weird number 1 seeds.
Yeah, the Lakers are right on their ass though. That is a
The
thing.
Lakers are a game behind them. I'm
The
pretty
Lakers
sure.
are right there, so it's gonna be close, but we'll see. We'll see. The Jazz, they really got to keep going. The Jazz could get there though. I think they can.
What are you like a Jazz fan now? After they just
Justin,
oh wait,
but
no, you
there's-
guys won last year. Never mind.
We've seen like these interesting teams make the finals that we weren't expecting in recent years.
Yeah, and then they get blown out.
No, bro, I was all right.
Like the Heat just got wrecked. They
Okay, what about
never
the
should have made the
Raptors?
finals.
I think the Heat made it closer than people think. Like,
They took the Lakers the furthest out of anybody.
yeah,
Yeah, because it was the finals. They had to.
Then again, the Lakers did get an easy run, but
oh my gosh,
that's neither here nor there.
here we go. Here we go.
Hater
Or
Toby.
were they just that much better than everyone?
Yeah, they are just that much better.
Bro, the Raptors were pretty like
Well, yeah, but that's because they had Kawhi go there.
yeah, but a lot of people expected other teams to make the finals over them.
I think Kawhi has to get at least to the Western Conference Finals this year. Because everyone was saying after that finals run, he's better than LeBron. He's better, you can drop him in anywhere and he's going to be better. He's going to make more of an impact than LeBron. And then he choked. So got to do something this year to really prove himself.
They will.
No.
They will. Paul
Too
George
late.
will
It's
too.
too late for Kawhi. It's too late for Kawhi and Paul
It's
George.
not too late, but this is the year, though. This is definitely the
Paul
year.
George will forever go down as Pandemic P.
No, bro, they're playing better than last year.
Yeah, they
Who cares?
were better. So
They're
this is their year. They got to get at least to the Western Conference Finals.
We're not doing nothing.
And if they
Nobody-
off with the
Everybody should just stop even playing because it's gonna be a Knicks Lakers finals. Knicks. Easy
Knicks,
sweep.
Lakers.
Everybody should just stop trying.
Are you high?
Nuggets, Knicks. That's what it'll be.
Yeah.
Nets, Lakers. Duh.
No. The Knicks
the
are
best
the
finals.
Knicks. The Knicks are gonna be the 8th seed, and we're gonna beat the Nets in the first round.
What?
You heard it here
What?
first. You heard it here first.
Oh my gosh! All
On
right,
the-
is that everything?
Yeah, I think so. I don't got
So-
nothing else.
Shouts out to Kyrie Irving.
No, not
Proving all
that.
the haters wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Balling out on a nightly basis.
Shout out to Julius Randle for being an all-star.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a little uncoordinated conversation, but it was a good one, I think. So
Mhm.
until next week.
We'll have a great one for you next week, episode 10, baby.